And for someone who's conceived, first 3 months, this is a routine in which you practice. Once an individual is conceived, now listen to this. When you're pregnant, each trimester, the practices are different. First trimester, practices are different. Second, third is different. For someone who has never practiced yoga at all, the approach is completely different for them. So they start from the first trimester. So say, okay, they are 2 months into conceiving. They say, okay, I want to practice yoga from the 3rd month onwards. We have a separate study called Yoga for Motherhood, Yoga for Pregnancy. The approach there is very, very different. You never teach them the way you teach the normal classes. Never. They have a life inside them. So definitely no sitting forward bending, anything that causes pressure to the abdominal muscles. No twisting, no churning, twisting the hands, nothing. No twistings at all from the very first trimester itself. Any forward bending, sitting forward, any asana practice for that matter, which involves compression of the abdominal muscles or twisting of the abdominal muscles, is strictly forbidden once they have conceived. It doesn't matter if they're in the first trimester, it doesn't matter if they're in second trimester, it doesn't matter if they're in the 3rd trimester. Yoga for pregnancy is a separate studies altogether. Even that involves, you have to actually sit and study for like a few months. If you have to teach someone who is conceived, who is in the pregnancy state. So for you to do that, first you have to practice this. As I said in the very beginning, I am not a woman physically. I can understand, I can study what goes on inside you, but empathy and feeling, I can't fake that. So for that, you have to experience it. Because I've seen people undergo motherhood, but I have never experienced it. You guys have experienced motherhood, so you'll understand that much better. So there are a lot of things where my approach ends till only knowledge. So with this, my approach is still knowledge only. I say, okay, see, this is what happens, but I can't feel it. You guys have felt it. So you will understand this better when you study this yourself. I'm not going to go in detail to this. I just will mention that practices are very different with respect to different trimesters. For each trimester, the practice is different. If you've been practicing yoga for some time, and if you conceive, the practices are different. If you're a complete beginner, starting off yoga for the first time, because you're experiencing uneasiness, because your lower back is weak, you have this nausea feeling, you have this early morning headache, and you always feel you're exhausted, the practices are different for those individuals. These are all case-specific symptoms. And when for some individuals, they don't feel anything at all when they're pregnant, but for some, it's a nightmare for them from the very second month itself. So this is where the concept comes now. You have to prepare your body before you conceive. See, earlier this was not needed. Why? Because the lifestyle being led was different. So when my mother was carrying me, she used to get water from a well, clean around, be involved in n number of activities throughout the day. That itself was a big workout for her. And this was a way of living for them. Squatting and sweeping the floor, doing the vessels, doing the household chores, and then going, interacting with people. This is what the way life was led earlier. But now, when your life is completely restricted to the table and the chair and the laptop, forget about squatting. There is no movement also of the shoulders. So since it's boiled down to this point, now we say, okay, prepare yourself before you plan to conceive. Earlier, this concept never existed. They didn't plan anything. It has to happen naturally. Now, even I have been advising this to a lot of people. You want to conceive? Prepare your body first. Because the body has absolutely no idea, and then boom, one day you say you conceived. Imagine what shock it has to turn up. Naturally, the body will start responding in hundreds of weird ways. Alva, you've not done any practices at all. You didn't even tell it, okay, I'm doing something like this. Automatically, 1 month you decide, okay, let's start a family, and then you conceive. How will the body respond? So you're practicing yoga for some time, or 2 weeks. Then 3rd week itself, I tell you, come, we'll do hand balancing. And 1.5 hours, 2 hours, I teach you only hand balancing. Next 3 days, you won't wake up. The body won't take it. I want to teach, you want to learn. But let's accept the reality. It is not going to happen. This is what is happening these days with maximum number of women. Why? The physical activity is very less. Even you know how alert the body has to be if you are planning to bring in a life through that. Alva? If you haven't moved in years, if you've been spending years and years on months and months in just in the sitting position, doing absolutely nothing, and then you decide, okay, one fine day, okay, I'm tired of my life, let's start a family. No. Imagine, like, even earlier days, people used to do a lot of vrathas. Vratha ಏನಂತಾರೆ? They used to perform a lot of rituals to gods and goddesses. So for you to go from your home to the temple, it's a long walk, right? Even to this day, they do a lot of things, even if they are not able to conceive for years together. Then they go and start praying to the home deity. So the journey they take from where they are to where the energy is, that journey itself helps them to cleanse themselves. You understand this concept? ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಈ ದೇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೇಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದೇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೇಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಆ ಹಾದಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಹಾದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಕೊಳೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರುವಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲಿ ಎವ್ರಿ ವುಮೆನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಟು ಅ ನ್ಯೂ ಲೈಫ್. ಇರೋವರ ಗಲೀಜೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಹಿಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಜೀವ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತೆ? ಹೊಸ ಜೀವ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಶುಚಿತ್ವ ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ನೀವು ಶುಚಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಮಗು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಅದು ದೈಹಿಕವಾಗಿ ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮಾನಸಿಕವಾಗೂ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಾಧಕರು ಮಹಾತ್ಮರ ಕಥೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದಿ, ಆ ತಾಯಂದಿರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೆ, ಕೇಳಬೇಕಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ ನೀವು. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅವಮಾನ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ನಾನು ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಾನು ಇದು ಮಾಡಲೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು 2-3 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗುಣಗಳು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗಲೇ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ.